Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a July energy update so we can tune in and see what we need to know for the month of July. I actually already recorded a July energy update for my podcast, Christina the channel. So if you want to check that one out as well, you can head over to my podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen and get that energy update as well. I'm sure there will be some similar messages this month, and then we'll just see whatever else wants to come through. But the guides want me to do two different ones. So I guess we can see. If you're new here, the way this works is I consciously channel in these. So I am just going to be repeating what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing. We're going to pull cards and just tune into whatever we need to know. So that's how I do it. It's new information for me as well as I'm saying it. So July, what do we need to know for July? Well, you know what I'll say is we know I always love going off numerology, and it is going to be a universal month for foundations, checking our foundations in all areas of our lives. Good time to roll up your sleeves and kind of get to work and work on things personally. And I would think about how that overlaps with your personal month. So for example, I am going to be moving into a 5-month in July, and that is all about change and transformation. And so you can kind of put those two together. And for me, that I can definitely see how that will play out in terms of recognizing where things foundationally for me have not been aligned with where I want to go. And then in the energy of the 5, things are really going to rapidly change. So making big shifts in terms of that. So you can kind of play with that in terms of numerology. And I actually don't even know what's going on astrologically because I'm not an astrologer. I think we have a big something in Capricorn I heard about. But anyway, that's not my specialty. So what do we need to know energetically? Okay, so they just keep saying, everything's about to change, and I feel like that's the similar message that has come up quite a few times in the energy in the last few months and few weeks. Has just felt like it's building, and when are we gonna hit that breaking point where it's like I'm just over everything that feels heavy, that feels out of alignment, that feels resistant? I feel like there's gonna be a lot of big realizations this month, big opportunities dropping in. So they're just like showing this orb of light dropping in, and it's like boom, there it is. And so boom, there it is. That could be whatever you're manifesting is finally dropping in. Like, have you made space for these big things to finally come in? Because that is what has been going on. It can feel like nothing is moving when big things are moving. So sometimes it feels like nothing's coming in because what is about to come forward in the 3D is so big. It's just a lot of different moving parts in the 3D. And so it can take more time in the 3D to manifest, but that's why it feels like nothing is going on. Things are moving, things are shifting, things are changing, and a lot of stuff is going to finally come in July. I feel July has a lucky energy. I really feel that it has a lucky energy. And for those of you who have chosen, which you probably have if you're here, like chosen this path, I'm going to trust my intuition. I'm going to trust this energy of personal power, of really stepping into your confidence and trusting, like, I know that when I'm in following my highest alignment, following my truth, that is all I need to do. It's all I can do and all I need to do. And so I'm good. I'm safe. I'm protected. And like more and more things are going to come from that. And so they're basically saying it's going to be revealed. Like, did you choose the path of abundance? And abundance isn't just about money, although it does feel like, especially towards the end of the month, lots of money opportunities coming in. But abundance is also, an abundance of, it's more, it's plenty, it's a lot. It's an abundance of joy, of happiness, of opportunity, of friendships, love, right? And so abundance can show up in so many different forms, even, personal gifts that you have, your own skill set, spiritual abilities, things like that. Like, that is all in alignment with the frequency of abundance, which check out my course, Abundance Accelerator, if you want to learn about manifesting. But it just feels like, especially towards the end of July, there's this big opening for a lot of abundance, but it really depends on, like, did you choose the path of your truth? And anywhere where you have been honestly continuing just to stay in situations that you've known are not in alignment, it feels heavy, it feels like resistance, you're trying to force it to work. Like, that's where you haven't opened the door for all of the opportunities to really be revealed to you. So they just keep saying, like, you will be rewarded. If you have been feeling like you've been working really hard, or you have been wanting something, and I mean working hard, like emotionally, energetically, like I am following my truth, I'm making the big moves, I'm showing up for myself, I'm showing up to my spiritual practice, and you've been feeling like nothing's dropping in, it's like you will be rewarded. And so trust. And this is about letting yourself really receive. And it really is the month of, again, it's this energy of personal power. It is this energy of like, not even in a defiant way, but like just owning, I'm just going to follow what lights me up and what I want to do. And I'm so over trying to adjust myself to other people's standards or what somebody else wants. It just feels like there's so much fatigue from adjusting yourself for other people that it's just not going to work anymore, because it feels so heavy. It feels so exhausting. You're not going to do it. And so there really is this reclamation of your own personal power. And with that, a lot of these big realizations, like that's where a lot of the big release happens. And in the big release is where these huge pieces of inspiration drop in. So you have the realization and you take the courageous action that follows from that of like, I'm going to leave this situation, or I'm going to release that, or I'm going to speak my truth here, whatever it is. And on the other side of that, then just create a lot of space. So boom, that huge hit of inspiration about your next creative project or your next business venture or your divine life partner drops in. Like that is where you create the space for it to come in. And that's very, very available for July. I feel that things have felt they're saying like if things have felt heavy, sticky, muddy, it just, oh man, it's gonna finally feel like flow. They're showing me like a golden river. Things are finally the river is gonna finally flow. It's like maybe stuff, how do I describe that? It's like it turned from yogurt to milk, like just flowing milk. Oh man, I don't know about that one. Okay, let's see. What are the other energies? We're gonna start here with our crystal cards. Be available and open to people presenting something to you on a silver platter, presenting an opportunity. Notice where you're living in the belief of, is this too good to be true? We have to shift out of this. It's like, what are the things you've been wanting that deep down you're like, I really want this, and I know it's possible, but I'm like, is that really going to happen? Or if that happened, would I think it's too good to be true, so I run away from it or I turn it away because I don't want to get duped? And it's like, it's not too good to be true. I feel like there's going to be a lot of like too good to be true moments this month for July, but like those are your opportunities. So we have make a decision, get crystal clear, find a way to forgive. This is really about what they're saying. This is about releasing, because you might feel like you're ready to move forward and call in all of these things. But if you are still holding on to anger, pain, resentment from something in the past, you are energetically tied to it. And so it really is like, if you really want to activate your full personal power and like own that, claim that, utilize that, move forward as your highest frequency self, that is, releasing all of the low frequency energy that we're attached to, which is if we haven't forgiven yet. This feels very like, honestly, friendships. I feel like there's friendships, and it feels, I would tune into for you, where are like just little moments where you felt like that person doesn't really value my energy in the way that I want them to or need them to. It's like it might be a little, somebody's teasing you a little bit and it's not ill-intentioned. It might be that you're in a conversation and you feel like someone's talking down to you, or that they think you don't get it when you do get it, or it's just like this feeling of like being misunderstood or being picked last or people trying to put you in a box, or people having certain expectations around you. And it's like these little moments in different friendships, or even like in a colleague situation with people related with your career. These are like all of these little, there's some like micro moments where it's like, oof, like that person doesn't really see me, or that person doesn't fully respect me, right? And so those can all add up to create this like ball of, I need to convince people, or I need to prove something to to someone. Like notice where you feel like, oh, I have to actually prove my worth. And there's also this coming undone of just exploring your beliefs around like, what do I believe makes me valuable in a relationship? Because it feels like a lot of what wants to be peeled apart is, where do you think that you have to do something to be valuable, or you have to be a certain type of way to be valuable in a relationship? Like that's a big thing to start to recognize, versus like, am I confident that like my value in a relationship is just me being me? I don't have to do anything. I don't have to prove anything. I can be every version of me. There is that expansiveness, that liberation in terms of friendships like that. And it's starting to notice, where are the places where I feel like, I mean, it's not unconditional love, it's conditional love. It's like in this relationship, they only respect me or like me or want to hang out with me or whatever because I am this way or show up this way, or when it's convenient for them. So it's really starting to unpack, like they're showing somebody unpacking basically all these different pockets of their life. And like, this goes back to the foundations piece in terms of numerology, but is this really anchored into the frequency of love? And this is in how I'm treating my body. Like really, let's be honest with myself, right? Why do I eat this way? Why do I move my body this way? How do I take care of myself? What's my sleep schedule like? Like, are those foundations in place? Because the physical body is going to come up really big this month. I'll get back to that in a second. And my friendships, like, do these have a solid foundation, or are these conditional? Are these dependent on me being a certain way? Family situation as well. Do I feel like, if I look at the foundation of how I feel in my career and my life's work, does this feel like shaky? Does it feel stabilizing for me? Do I feel like I'm ready to build something on this, or like, what do I need to clear out? You know, it's like, you can't, if you're going to build a new house and the foundation is rotten, you got to fix that. But you know what the physical body is, as we move through these different waves of awakening, as you raise your vibration, you become more and more sensitive to things in your environment. And that includes, you know, EMFs and processed foods. That also includes becoming more sensitive to people who are not resonant for you. And so it's where, you know, in the past, maybe we knew deep down this isn't a vibrational match, but we stayed in the situation. We stayed in the career. We stayed in the friendship. We stayed in the romantic relationship, or even the family relationship, because our brains were telling us certain things of like, well, I committed to this person, or that they're, you know, I look on paper and they're so great, or they're so nice, or maybe I'm making this up, or, you know, I can't leave because XYZ, whatever it is. You're staying in the situation, or it's really hard, or how am I going to get money, like whatever it is. And we were able to push through with our minds, and, you know, most people get long-term, unfortunately, physical effects from that over time, but the tolerance is really getting lower and lower to what's not a vibrational match. So maybe before you kept telling yourself, maybe deep down you know that one friend is not super healthy for you to spend a lot of time around, but you kept telling yourself, oh, you know, I know them forever, they're great, they have a good heart. Yeah, I'm sure they have a great heart, right? And it's not that bad, it's not draining me that much. And then it hits a point where all of a sudden, every time you hang out with them, afterwards your whole physical body shuts down. Like, you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling knocked on your butt, you know, maybe you have a headache, maybe you are really bloated, or you have like digestive issues, or you break out. Like, things are going to pop up very physically to tell you not in alignment. And that's because it's like, wake up. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't wake up or listen until it's very physical, you know, and that's why, you know, especially like health issues, chronic illness are so connected to spiritual awakening. I mean, trust me, I was the same. I don't think without my chronic illnesses, I mean, that's how I got here. Like, I probably would not have paid attention to my body. I'm very headstrong. I'm very, very headstrong. So it led me there, but it just feels like that there is a lot of divine intervention this month. It just feels like things are dropping in, things are getting knocked over. Take your hands off the wheel. Take your hands off the wheel. And this is the nuance of make a decision. It is choosing a path. It is claiming, this is what I'm creating. This is what I'm desiring. Mobilize the troops. Tell the guides to come in and support you, and claim it and act in alignment with it, right? And then that's when all of the energy shifts. But then acting in alignment with it, notice where it's like, I'm kind of letting the universe do its work and drop the magic in, versus versus I'm still trying to drive the car because I think that I know how I want it. Like, I think I know the way it's going to come in versus, hey, I'm claiming this energy. I'm claiming abundance. I'm claiming my joy. I'm claiming that, I'm not available for energetically draining people. I'm claiming that I know my level of self-worth. Like, what are you claiming? What do you want to create in your life? How do you want to feel in your life? And claim it, own it, and then let the divine do its thing and rearrange certain things. But they're saying that, the blocks to your greatness are your ego. The blocks to your greatness are your fear. It is, where are you afraid to get out of the box? And so there's going to be a lot of divine intervention to get you to think outside of the box, move outside of the box, go outside of the box. And if you are not wanting to do that willingly, divine intervention. We have the Strength card. Good luck. Didn't I say? Feels like a lucky month. Talent. I feel that there are pieces of yourself that, and this could go back to when you're a teenager or a child, like things that are natural for you that you might have forgotten that really align you with your joy and your creativity. They're going to kind of come back around. And this is really about you seeing for yourself how talented you are in your own way, because everybody has unique gifts and talents. You are so special, and your path, your mission, your purpose is to go into those and share those talents, with the world. It's about your unique talents. And so it just feels like this whole, like, always looking outside, and suddenly, wow, I'm looking at myself and seeing how great I am. You should see how great you are, okay? Good luck, Strength. This is about, again, when we get so tired of the bullshit, of self-sabotaging, of other people draining our energy, and we think our way out of it for a long time, and then we hit a point where it's just like, I'm over it, and I'm claiming like my own inner power, and I'm claiming my joy, and I'm deciding that I'm going to be the co-creator of my life, and I'm going to choose my happiness, and I'm going to stop bending over backwards for people who aren't showing up for me. Like, that is all. It's like reconnecting to your innate inner strength. All right. And it just feels like so many spiritual gifts are going to turn online. Like, when you claim that, when you own that, when you it means basically claiming your divinity, right? And how powerful you are, everything starts to turn online because it's a huge energetic shift. And so that is what happens when we have moments in our lives where we're faced with an opportunity to speak our truth or live our truth, take action in alignment with our truth, where we are being pushed to have the hard conversation that we know we really need to have, or leave the situation that we're super scared to leave, but we know it's for our highest and best to leave. These moments where we get to choose to listen to our intuition or not, it is in, choosing bravery that you cement in the energetic shift that opens up a whole new world of opportunity. And that is where you make the quantum leap. It doesn't even matter what the outcome is. It's about, wow, like, I stood up for myself. Wow, I spoke my truth. Wow, I opened up my heart. No matter how that other person chooses to respond or react, because we can't control other people, but it was, whoa, that was the initiation. And on the other side of that is the reclamation of your inner power, of your inner strength. So it's super, super available this month to kind of like ride that frequency of strength and courage and bravery. Let me do some animal cards. I do feel a big nature connection this month. I think because there's so much circulating. Like, here's the thing, how the energy works. As a lot of people are really stepping into their light and more spiritual gifts are turning on, activating, because it's one of those moments where it's like, holy shit, I just got pushed to burnout. And then through that, I had a spiritual awakening, and now I'm super psychic and all that fun stuff. And this is hitting in waves. There are energies that get ramped up to try and block people from that. And so when that happens, it's so important to ground. And also, as your frequency is rising, it can feel like, oh, I'm buzzing. Like, what am I plugged into? And so the more that you the more that you ground during that time, it's really going to support your nervous system and just help with that energetic recalibration. Grounding is one of the most important pieces of opening up your intuition. And yeah. Okay. We have Beaver Spirit. Lay a solid foundation. What do you know? Checking your foundations and seeing where there are cracks. And this is going to be, it's illumination. They keep saying illumination. Is this working? Is it not? Brown Bear Spirit, take time out. You know what I will say is I feel that if you can have some extra alone time to just, it's like, okay, I'm just going to be in my own energy field, take a step back and look at everything and get some clarity being like just by myself in my own field. Cause then I can start to tune into, whoa, like it's like you need to zoom out. You need a zoom out moment and realize this is sucking my energy. Sometimes we get so caught up in our lives in the day to day. It's like this big snowball, and you can get to a point where like just always living, responding to other people's to-do lists or other people's text messages. And you're like, I'm tired, or I'm achy here, or I'm stressed. And there's just never a moment to stop because you're in the snowball. And it's like, whoa, let me stop, take a step back and look at all this stuff and notice, where are the cracks? Where are my energetic micro leaks? I talk about that all the time. It's super important. It's like these little micro leaks in our energy field that we don't think of as a big deal, but it can make you feel so exhausted. It could be that one person that always texts you and you're like, stop. Stop. That can be a big energetic micro leak. But it's like you need that time just in your own frame to take, like, look at it all, zoom out and be like, okay, you know what? You know what I'm noticing is I'm getting 6 hours of sleep every night. This is a problem. Like, this is a foundational problem. So what can I do where I'm going to choose? I need to strengthen my foundations and I'm going to commit to 8 hours of sleep a night. Like, that is the stuff that's going to shift your world. It is going back to the basics. And it can be really easy to like either just feel like you're so caught up in it, there's no time or room to take a step back and really look at what's working and what's not. It can also be really easy to think it's so much more complicated. We overcomplicate everything. We just add more, and often the answer is less. And going back to those foundations, like, are you drinking enough water? Are you balancing your electrolytes? Are you sleeping? Are you trying to manage 500 friendships, which we are just like not designed to manage? Am I always answering other people? Am I always bending over backwards for other people? Do I feel like my relationships are reciprocated? Do I love every morning when I wake up, or do I dread getting out of bed? Like, these are big things. And there's a lot around taking care of the body right now. Like, if you feel like you are on overload of where do I start? The body. Because it creates this positive snowball effect when it's like, I'm going to prioritize my health. I'm going to prioritize my health and tune into my body, because our body holds so much wisdom as well. We start to connect to our body. We really connect to our intuition. Vulture Spirit, nothing is wasted. This is really realizing that we learn so much from every interaction, every relationship, even if it doesn't end or if it doesn't go the way that we might have wanted or didn't necessarily feel good. Like, every experience you've had has all taught you something and supported you in getting here. And even things that you don't think are connected are very much connected. And so this is connected to the Find a Way to Forgive card as well. And they want you to know is, even if you feel like you're making a huge shift in your life, like, I'm leaving this state to move over here, or I'm leaving this career to do something completely different. Noticing where you have any stories around, like, did I just waste my time? Right? Or even leaving relationships, like, oh, but I spent 20 years with this person and I'm holding on because it's been 20 years, but every time I talk to them, I'm drained, right? First of all, it's not always like we have to leave something and never come back. Sometimes just kind of reconfiguring boundaries or how we show up to it, or taking some space. It's just like, everything's just transition. So we can always reconfigure our, how we show up to things. But it's realizing, like, none of that has been a waste of time. None of that has been wasted. All of that is really important, and it all builds. Even if you can't see it in the moment of like, this was the foundation or the building block for you to be able to build this thing from a really great space energetically. I think about this for me I've had a lot of different pivots in my career, for example, or even releasing entire businesses to go a different direction. And I never understand why at the time. Like, why did I build that? Did I just waste my time? And then I go into the next thing I'm building in my business or another company. And once I get in there, I realize, oh, whoa, all of those things that I learned before and that didn't go how I planned, that all those lessons enabled me to build this or move this thing forward so quickly and effortlessly. And I just didn't realize at the time. So it is, this is where we can reconnect to gratitude of like, wow, I mean, everything in our lives does build on each other. It's all shifting us. It's all teaching us. These are all different opportunities for expansion. So it feels like there's some real taking a step back, zooming out for a minute and like collecting myself on what do I need foundationally, and some big realizations there about what needs to go, what we want more of, what we want to stay, and really realizing like, where did I get so caught up in the busyness or looking over here that I kind of forgot how I really want to feel. Like I kind of forgot every day being intentional around, this is how I want to feel in my life and this is the life I want. And I got so busy or sidetracked or caught up in other people's stuff or whatever it was that I kind of just like snowballed in a different direction and I got a little chaotic. And now I want to like rein myself back in and go back to my foundations and make sure everything is calibrated to the reality I want to be living in and how I want to be feeling. And so it often looks like, let's just like peel it all back. It's like an elimination diet for your life. And then really realize, is everything here in alignment with the reality I want at this time? And sometimes dreams die or they change, and that's okay. But I feel like you're at a point where you're like, I can't, like it's just not going to work anymore. Physically, emotionally, energetically, the things that are out of alignment, it's like hard stop. I'm hitting a wall. Okay, so now I'm actually going to take a step back and look at what needs to be adjusted foundationally. And when you do that and you show up to that, this is where the miracles drop in, the opportunities drop in. It's typically in the pause. It's typically in the pause. It's typically in the week off. It's typically in the taking time out, pause. Now you're in receiving and the universe can drop it all in for you. So, wow, that was different. That was different than the podcast one. So check out the energy update, my podcast as well. And let me know how this lands. Let me know how you're feeling this month and what you're moving into, or even your personal year in numerology, or your personal month in numerology. I'm a 5 this month, but we're all in a 4. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if this resonated, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button so that you never miss a future video if you haven't already. And that's going to be it. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.